and he told us girls, your life starts after your first divorce. And I said, got it.
Thanks for your concern.
Welcome back, everybody, to Thanks for Your Concern. You're here with Berenice.
And I'm Ella. Welcome back.
Hi,
It's a
Ella.
beautiful day. How's your evening going, Berenice?
It's going good. I worked late today for the first time in a few years. I have a solid rule that I actually do not work past 5 p.m. My employer knows about this, okay? But every once in a while, I like to be nice.
You like to be a team player. No, it's good to have work boundaries, babes.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Here's the thing, okay? I love to give like 90%. And then if someone else is like really stressed or like struggling, then I could get up a notch. I'm like, all right, girl, like you go take a nap. I can do this for us this time.
I got us.
I got us. Exactly. So honestly, yeah, I've been pretty chill. It's been quite a day. I ran around a lot. I tried to get my state ID of New York today. I've attempted this a couple of times already. The first time they gave me a city ID, didn't even know that was a thing. The bartenders laughed at me when I tried to like go into bars because they were like, "You can get this at the library." And I was like, "Well, actually, it took me 3 hours in a government building to get this baby." And then I went in today and I forgot. So, like, there's only a few states where you can get a state ID or driver's license without a social security number. So that's like a big thing, actually, like in the like immigrant community, because if you're undocumented, you have to travel to specific states to be able to get a driver's license. Washington is one of them. So, of course, I had an ID growing up, and nobody ever asked me for anything else. But this time they were like, "Oh, this is your Mexican passport. Like, where is your like green card or like whatever?" And I'm like, it's like the one thing I didn't bring with me today.
And they're like, girl.
Yeah. And I was like, the thing is, I'm not even trying to drive or travel. I'm just trying to get into the bars with that state ID.
So
So-
what? So what you're telling me is that you don't have a state ID and you've been using your passport to get into bars?
So that was the issue. And then my passport broke, and I literally had to sign like an affidavit when I got my passport, like because my passport was so damaged, the first page literally tore off. So they were like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Atrocities." Okay, some water spilled in my bag. That was like what ended up happening, but like there were a lot of other things before that. Anyways, so tomorrow I'm gonna try again, and then I'll finally have a New York State ID.
Woo! Then you can. Do you have a library card yet?
Yeah, that one was easy.
Okay, good. Because New York City Library, you got to get on Libby. I'm obsessed with the library. You guys know that.
Yes. How are you? What books have you been reading?
I've been reading Eldest, which is the second Aragon book. They came out when we were 12, but like I don't recall reading the second one. It's pretty decent. I'm all about fantasy. What other
the one with the dragons?
Yeah, dragons. Hell yeah, dragons.
Cool.
Fuck yeah, dragons. I just finished Ninth House. Have you heard of Ninth House?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's okay. I honestly don't know if I'd recommend it. It was one of those books where this is just a thing. I usually finish books. Like, I don't even care if I don't fucking like it. Like, it does not matter to me. I am going to finish that book. Yeah. Especially because once I'm 20% in, it's like, oof, I'd rather be able to say I read this book than like say I quit at 20%. So that was one of my books where it's like, if I was a person who didn't finish books, I wouldn't have finished this. But yeah, Eldest right now. I'm also reading The Golden Enclaves, which is one of my favorite like fantasy books series. It's the last one. I'm doing like, I do 2-3 books at a time, baby.
Ooh, wow, a reader.
That's
Kindle, amazing.
I keep that Kindle on me, girl. In the bath. I literally sit in the bath until it goes fucking cold, and I've read like 20% of a book.
I remember when Ella used to bring guys over, and one of the first things she would ask is, "Do you read?" And then she would show them our book collection. Now I know those motherfuckers lied. None of them read, okay? None of them. And I did at first I thought it was a ploy, like let me show you my books cuz like she was trying to have a smart girl moment. But no, Ella like actually really does love books.
You know what's really funny is I don't know how to say this, but like literally one time I brought a guy home to my not my other apartment, but before I lived with Berenice, before we even met, I brought this guy home to my apartment with my best friend. And I'm like showing him my books, and I just hear her and her boyfriend just start dying laughing. Once I'm like, "Do you read?" And they literally start busting out laughing in her bedroom. And they're like, the next day they're like, "We're so sorry," but like, that's your fucking move, dude. You bring
Yeah,
dudes
it
over
is.
and then you ask them if they read. And literally, it's so funny because I say, "Do you read?" But sometimes I will get like, I was like drunk and swirly, and I'm like, "Can you read?" And they're like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Are you able to read and write?
Like literally, like, "Can you read and write?" And they're like, "I'm in college," and I'm like, "That doesn't mean shit, dude."
You can get away with anything in this
Yeah.
university.
Anyway, so yeah, I actually I'm reading all of the books that like I'm ready to part with. That's a big thing. I have
Oh,
to read these books because I'm not trying to spend like $1,000 moving books to Austin.
yeah. You have to gift those.
I am, babes. I already have like some people ready to pick up some books.
Right now I'm reading Blue Like Jazz.
Yes, I'm familiar. I haven't read it though.
Yeah. I didn't know much about it, to be completely honest with you. This man I'm seeing was like, "Oh, this was my favorite book a while ago." And like, "Do you
Mm.
want to read it?" And I was like, "Okay, whatever." It's definitely about Christianity and I was like, "He wants to save me."
Maybe I
No.
don't know this book.
No, it's not that. Well, I'm just replacing the words like God with like universe, spirituality,
Oh my
and
god,
I'm
he's gonna
catching the
get you.
drift. And I'm catching the drift here. Devoted Christian. Can you imagine?
Well, did I tell you that I went to a black church with my dad and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so much more lit than white church." I feel like if my dad had kept me in black church, I would have still be a Christian. It was just way more lit.
Yeah, but this one does a lot of like spirituality and music, which
Yeah, that's good.
I understand. I catch the drift. I'm with the vibes. I'm gonna finish it. I'm just gonna do it because I haven't read in a while, and reading is important
I'm
for the soul.
actually convinced that if Christians went to more raves, they would also feel the Holy Spirit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same feeling. It's the unity within music. Like it's definitely a phenomenon.
There's some people that do both. Last TikTok's ending, but there's a girl on TikTok I followed
Uh,
who came out of the closet as a Christian the other day. And I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot there's people that rave that are religious."
do you think that TikTok's for sure going away?
I think unless they somehow sell part of it or something in the next couple of days. So I don't know.
I just like the government can't fill potholes, but they can ban TikTok. Like, what the fuck is going on? This pisses me off.
Yeah, it's the sad reality of the state that we live in. Donald Trump wants to save TikTok. He wants to do 10
Do
million
something for
other
me.
bad things. But TikTok may be his saving grace here, okay? Uh, for the, for the youth.
Right now, I'm not like depressed. Not depressed. I don't know how to explain. Yeah, no, I am sad. I've been sad about TikTok specifically because I'm just like, oh my god, because I personally don't like Instagram because of how those suggested. Like, it's just like it's not who I follow. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like 2/3 of
Yeah.
like my feed are not people I care about. And like I have this TikTok algorithm to show me like happy, 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 joy, 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 joy. And then like informational like 5% of the time. It's like where am I gonna get my cat videos?
You just need to start working your algorithm. And, I take the pledge that if TikTok goes away, just to become more unhinged on Instagram. You will be seeing me there. Actually, that might be a lie. I've been really off social media lately. I think in a different world, like if one day I make it and I don't have to speak to a lot of people, I'd probably go that route. Like I'd get like a flip phone.
Just thinking about, you know what I was thinking about? How Tom from MySpace just got his money and we have not heard from him.
He got out.
He's been posting like a couple twice a year. He posts a picture of the Maldives, and that's fucking it. And I'm like, why the fuck is goddamn Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan with a perm and a chain talking about bow and arrows and the neutering of the workforce? Like, I want him to go away like fucking Tom.
You know, there's just different people with different vibes. Some people, I like to share my life and things, but I think if I was able to do that in a different way and like my creativity and the things I make, then maybe I wouldn't be on social media. But we live in a capitalist society. Okay, I'll be on freaking social media until my shit pops off. Don't worry. I'll give good content. I'm just taking a little breather. But today,
Villains, our favorite villains of all time.
I can start. I was actually like kind of thinking about this topic because I was watching High Fidelity. Have you watched that show? It's on
No.
Hulu. Zoe Kravitz. It's based on a movie, like 80s movie. You should watch it. It's about records. They were basically having a conversation is, do you resonate with any villain's origin story? And I thought to myself, you know, yeah.
Me too, dude. I mean, there's something very like cunty about a villain that I resonate with because it's like who I wish I was more.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a specific villain that I resonate with. I like thought of a couple and like their origin stories, but I think I vibe with the concept. I understand that sometimes shit happens, you know? Life shits on us all. And sometimes life shits on us at incremental levels, and there's only so much patience you can have before you snap and it changes your entire personality.
Mine is Ursula, okay? First of all, people
Okay.
are like, so, all right, she's the villain. I get it. But personally, she's pretty clear about the contract, bitch. She literally said, hey, these are the stipulations. Do you want me to do this deal for you? Like, how dare a woman have a small business after she's been pissed out of her home, you know? She's got to make money somehow. She's just a hustler. Like, why are we making the hustler the villain?
She's paying her bills, she's getting her money, she's making a name for herself. People go to her for things.
And she's a doer. She makes stuff happen. And of course, like the tables turned because she interfered. It wasn't really a fair bet. All right, she's not a fair player per se. And then it's like, you know, like when a woman gets pushed too far and then she like snaps.
Yeah.
She crashes out. She's
Yeah.
basically like, I'm not going back into that hole in the wall in the depths of the sea. I deserve to be queen of the sea. Like, my brother pushed me out. This is fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
What did my brother do? But he gets the whole kingdom and I just get to fucking live in this cave? And then she crashed out. I get it.
You know, she had the terms of her agreement. Was she playing anybody? She clearly stated her laws of contingency, and I think the thing is sometimes maybe other people just don't think that far ahead.
Exactly.
So she was just thinking 10 steps ahead. She was playing chess and you were out here dilly-dallying with the butterflies.
Good sales lady. She convinced you into a sale that wasn't in your best interest. But, like, how is that different from, like, a casino or a used car salesman? It's not.
It's not. It's only because she's a woman.
And a witch. A sea witch, okay?
I see a witch. I thought of Wicked as like a good example of
Mm.
getting villainized. She was really just like a humanitarian, an animal lover, really. Perception is interesting and how society comes together. Like those themes in the movie are really cool of just like when they go to Oz and they're talking about how basically spoilers if you haven't watched the movie. Everybody loves like an enemy, an equal villain, somebody that we can come together through our hate.
I get it. That's sometimes why I feel bad when people, like, dogpile other people on TikTok. I'm like, ooh, people are just coming together to hate on you. I hate that for you.
In that sense, there's a lot that you can do, but you can't really control other people's like perceptions of you. And
Hmm.
ultimately, I feel like the most undercover villains are actually people pleasers. Because people pleasers will say anything to anybody, okay? They will turn on you quick if the collective dislikes you.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Look, watch your back.
For those people pleasers. I really do enjoy being around people that are not people pleasers. Maybe they don't come off as the nicest, but I also there's like a meme going around that says like in my villain era, but it's really just yeah saying the word no.
saying the world no, not people pleasers. I guess one of my favorite not people pleasers villains is Cruella Deville,
Oh,
specifically
yes.
Glenn Close's Cruella Deville, which was like the live action 101, 102 Dalmatians. Okay, let me say this. Let me just say some fire quotes. So first of all, like fur is bad, right? We shouldn't be skinning puppies, whatever. But besides that, like she was that bitch.
This is the live action, right?
Yeah, she was so
Yeah.
she was a fashion. I think she's a fashion designer in every single one of the in
Yeah.
every movie, which I mean, that's so dope. But she was serving looks, so I just aspire to be that. And she did split dye before anybody.
Period.
She had, and even the animated version, she was like the first split dye girly, half black, half white. So we love a trendsetter. But a couple of my favorite quotes from that movie is she was telling like Anita, which is the female lead, which is like, we've lost more good women in marriage than famine, death, war, and disaster. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, that really resonates with me. I didn't pick that up like when I saw it when I was a kid. Obviously, that like went right over my head what that meant. But like as an adult, yes, you do lose good women to marriage. And not even just marriage. Now it's like you leave. I'm being honest. You can derail your whole life with the wrong partner. And that's on men and women, but like women are much more fixers when it comes to relationships than I think men are, because it's like, men look for people who are going to take care of them, what I'm saying? So it's like if that woman can't take care of them. Anyways, I'm just saying, man, it really makes me sad when people just like dull their sparkle to somebody and then you're like, oh my God, you're married to that guy? Ugh.
We do lose good ones sometimes. Not that they're trapped, they're still here, they're just in a relationship.
Especially since I'm on divorcee TikTok. People
Yeah,
light up after their first divorce. Like, obviously, divorce is hard and I wish it on nobody, but some people have their best glow up past divorce.
I agree. I met a banker in New York once. He was from Guatemala. He got divorced and he was on his second marriage. And he told us girls, your life starts after your first divorce. And I said, got it. Thank you. Thank you for that input. I can see that. I bet. I bet some people really marry their one and only, and then they turn out that that doesn't work out, and they go through a major life switch. Yeah, welcome to your second life. I'm here for it. May you explore everything and become, maybe not the villain of your own story. I be doing this sometimes. I accidentally become the villain of my story. I start committing crimes against myself. You know, suddenly I'm like,
Yeah.
who is this person messing everything up? Why is she with us today? I would say another villain that I do resonate with is Maleficent. She was really
Mm-hmm.
just like a little crow fairy girly trying to live her best life, a sweet girl. And then she got betrayed by this dude she was
Mm-hmm.
seeing.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. All right, if someone physically cut off my wings, yeah, I'd probably, burn villages.
Yeah. Like, it's totally reasonable crash out, dude.
That is being a villain nothing more than a personality crash out.
Yeah, so can I tell you a Disney villain that I actually like don't know if they were a justified villain, but I just love their energy is
Yeah.
Yzma from
Oh,
Emperor's New Groove. And
yeah.
that's voiced by Eartha Kitt, which is one of an African American singer and actress, and she's just a fucking legend. But Yzma is so iconic, and the Emperor's New Groove, the version that I'm talking about, essentially she's running the damn fucking empire, dude. And
She is.
then Cusco is a fucking lame ass loser who is just like a nepo baby, and he just swoops. He does no fucking work, and then swoops in and is like, "Actually, you're fucking fired, dude."
Hmm.
And she's like, "Are you joking?" That she crashes out, and because she's like, "Dude, I've been working so hard. He's been sitting on his ass. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. How dare he fire me? I've been keeping this place running for 20 fucking years." And then she tries to kill him. Okay, it happens.
Was she justified?
I don't
All right.
know. But she's really funny. She has some really funny moments.
and she's fabulous. There's like
Super
a few.
fabulous.
There's good villains with good fashion style. They have that going for them. They're really just people that are doers. All right, they're definitely doing stuff rather than not. Villains are not lazy.
No,
Mm-mm. They got
that
energy.
certainly wouldn't push plot.
No, no, it wouldn't.
Okay, one of my other favorite villains is Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if she's like a villain. She's villainous. I don't know. But honestly, so fucking iconic. How can you be a power like if she was a man, she wouldn't even be considered a villain. She just needs shit to get done. You can't run that large of a corporation on like loosey goosey bullshit. You know, she's straight to the point. She needs people to work as hard as she does. Pure point blank period.
Another doer. Somebody committed to their craft. I mean, that's the theme here. Women and commitment, hard workers.
I'm gonna be so honest. I thought about men villains that I even tried. I was like, what are some villains, men villains that I like and that I like aspire to be like? Nada. I couldn't resonate.
Yeah, me either. A lot of those come from like trauma. I'm like thinking about like the popular like the DC villains and all that. It's more sad, and that's why therapy is so important. There's a lot of men causing a lot of chaos and destruction in women's lives, and that could be solved by just some therapy, some healing. I had a man who I don't know. He tried to be a villain in my story. He wasn't a very good one. And ultimately, as men do, they come back. He had his moment of, so many things happened to me, and my ex girlfriend cheated on me. And that was his villain origin story. And I was like, oh, I see. Cool. I don't think that justifies years of the way you treated me, but I understand. I was like, but if you go to therapy, I'll be your friend. Man won't go to therapy, so I knew we weren't going to be friends. But that is all it really may take is this first step to change. If you are villainous, maybe get some therapy and clear out some of those traumas.
Yeah, I've never resonated with a man's villain origin story IRL because maybe because I've been cheated on. So I just like am like, oh, I was cheated on. Yeah, so was I. And I found out while I was like I found out while I was living with them and it had been 4 years and I
Yeah.
literally was like, fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? But did I
Yeah.
go forward treating every single boyfriend I had like shit? No. And that was
Yeah.
pre-therapy too. So it's not even like everyone like you know what I'm saying? So I just don't relate to that shit. It's just literally I was cheated on. Yeah, so we're a lot of fucking people. It doesn't really justify bad behavior. Sorry,
Grow up.
not sorry.
Everyone gets cheated on.
No, literally grow up. And then, sometimes it's like, oh, like, my mom didn't love me, yada, yada, yada. Okay, dude. Sure. Sorry. I think that's painful. But, like, why the fuck is that my problem? I'm trying to love you and you're fucking out here. My mom, my mom, my mom. Yeah.
Again, therapy. I'll drop you the link for BetterHelp. Maybe we should.
Literally, they should
Can they
sponsor
sponsor
us.
us? There's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I loved The Suicide Squad. Was that the latest one?
No, she's had a few.
I don't remember, but the one that came out, not Birds of Prey, but it's like The Suicide Squad. I really liked that movie. I like Harley Quinn. I actually kind of like the Joker on some days, like some versions. He's cheeky, but yeah, Harley Quinn is a special place in my heart.
And she is just someone who had a major psychological crash out and, got a little bit too stock on a dude. I get it. Sometimes they really reel you in. Sometimes you're drinking the Kool Aid. There's a lot of villains who are cult leaders. I think sometimes to be a successful villain, you have to be charismatic, charming. That makes a good villain. Like, nobody likes a, a boring villain. You know what I mean? You gotta have something going on. Why are you a good villain? How do you draw people in? Because usually villains got like a little bit of like stand attention. They got followings. They got fans.
They got personality.
They do. Even there's so many people on the internet that sometimes I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It doesn't work for me, but it's working for someone.
Okay, honestly, I'll tell you like one of my dirty. I almost said one of my guilty pleasures, but I don't like the term guilty pleasures. I love con women podcasts because there is something about a woman committing collar crime that I very much vibe with. Because usually how
You're
they are
like, power to the people.
no, well, because here's the thing: is usually they're like using like misogyny in their favor. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
a poor helpless woman. Like I need, and then they steal their money, and I'm like, ah, you got him. And it's just very rare. Like this is not a common occurrence out in the world, so there's something I like about a con woman.
She was sent into your life to challenge your beliefs.
Yes. Well, and
That was
obviously
her mission.
also it's just like one of those things where sometimes the cons are so see-through that I just feel a little, I don't know if less bad, but yeah, like I just feel like sometimes people do crazy cons, like really elaborate crazy cons, and they go after like old people and prey on da 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 da. But it's like all the con women just usually are like pushing the promise of sex forward long enough, and men are
Mm.
keep on giving them money. You know what I'm saying? And there's something about that where I'm like,
You're like, whose fault is it?
yeah, you're like, hmm. I don't know. Like, this doesn't seem like the type of crime that I like on the list of crimes. I just don't know that it's like up there with like the worst thing you can do as a human being. It's obviously not morally good and I wouldn't recommend it, but like out of all the terrible things people do in the world, someone promising you for sex to get money and never giving you sex, I think it's pretty low on that list for me.
I actually had someone reach out to me and tell me that like something similar happened to them, that they found out somebody they were dating like ended up being an escort, and he was like one of her five boyfriends, and how he was deeply hurt by this. And my first question was, can I see her Instagram? Let me see what she looks like, because listen, there's a look, okay? There's signs. There's signs. Yeah, she looked like she liked to party in expensive places. Now, am I surprised? No. My jaw stayed in the same place after I saw her photos. There is a vibe. Should you have been a little bit more in tune with the signs and the type of thing she was telling you? Maybe.
I mean, I just depending on the situation, it's probably a bad idea to send people cash money on Venmo or Cash App.
Yeah.
It's just not a good idea, y'all.
No, it's not. Again, you got to be kind of charismatic or funny or something.
Five boyfriends. Wow, that seems exhausting.
She was getting money. She was getting paid. That was her full time job.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. All right. Is there anything from villains that you take away or would incorporate into your life?
I try not to be a people pleaser anymore, but I think villains prioritizing themselves, like, you could go too far one way, but I personally could probably take a little bit of that and putting me first in front of like other people, because it's like that's what a villain is that they're looking for their own best interest over other people, and obviously that's not good, but sometimes I could take a little of that.
Mm, like the Grinch.
They know what they want, they're singularly focused, and they're
Mm,
willing to do anything to get that. Okay.
yes, driven,
Driven.
dedicated,
Mhm.
goal oriented. I like that. Something that I admire about villains is their ruthlessness and their overall vibe. These people don't care what you think.
Mhm.
They are who they are, and if there's anything about villains, is that they are memorable people. They're authentic to their era of doing villainous things, committing crimes against you, committing crimes against themselves. They're really an owner of their moment. They're carpe dieming, quite tough. I admire that.
Yeah, they have the best outfits.
They tend to.
Yeah, it's a look. I'm not gonna say I'm entering my villain era, but I don't know. I used to do a lot of things out of spite,
Mm,
and I feel like it really pushed me very far. And now I haven't been spiteful, so I think I'm gonna like make up a villain or someone that I'm trying to get revenge after. I think of
yeah.
revenge, revenge and spite can be a huge motivator. So I haven't been spiteful lately, and obviously, I know someone's gonna listen to this and be like, "This bitch is so fucking crazy." What do you mean you haven't been spiteful lately? I'm telling you, I've done so many things out of spite because I don't know, like people are fucking stupid and say stupid shit, and then I'm like, you know what? No, 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 no. I am gonna do that. You know, people are like, oh, you know, oh, you think you're just gonna come in the middle of season? No, 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 no. Yeah, bitch. I think I am gonna just do that.
I think that goes along with like the ruthlessness that I like. And also like, there's that saying you're always gonna be the villain in somebody else's story. You can't go all your life not affecting other people. You're gonna have bad moments and some people are not gonna think of you so kindly. That being said, there are two sides to every story. You never know.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Sometimes I recognize that with I'm like very like if I don't like you, you'll know. And your friends will know that I don't like you. And I know that maybe they have heard other stories about me. And you know what? Those may be true stories. But what did you do to me? What did you do to
Preach.
me? Yeah.
I don't hate you for no reason.
Mm-mm. Okay. I know. There's usually a reason why someone dislikes you for the most part. So act to the best of your ability, but sometimes like a little no and not over explaining yourself may come across as you not being someone's favorite person.
Honestly, and I think in the pursuit to be the hero, you might be the villain anyways. Like with the Wizard of Oz or like Wicked, you know, Dorothy, she's the kind, innocent, da 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 da. Yeah, she killed somebody like 10 minutes into that film, you know? And sure it was an accident, but then she just prized the fucking
Stole
shoes
her
off of the dead.
shoes.
Do you know how D class A that is to steal shoes off of off of a dead body while the body's still fucking warm?
Literally.
And
Still
she's the
still
hero.
moving.
Yeah, so it's like, be careful. You might think you're the hero, you might think you're a Dorothy, but we got a prequel coming out that doesn't make you look so good. So before you get on your high horse that you're a hero, you're a good person, you don't relate to any villains, be careful, bitch.
Might as well own it. Might as well start now.
Yeah, humble yourself.
I'm not a perfect person. I say that all the time. I'm really not. Like, if nobody is a perfect person, I sometimes think it's funny when people act like they are, or people try to come for me like I'm righteous, and I'm like, no, no, no. I just have certain standards and expectations of how I would like to be treated, but I also do make mistakes. There's a difference, all right?
I am set in my beliefs. I believe what I believe, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. Allowing yourself to be wrong is a cute moment. And I'd be like, my bad.
Some villains have some really good arcs where at the end of the movie they're like, you know what? My bad. That was whack. I shouldn't have tried to kill you. I came from a hurt place. So it's never too late to turn your villain origin story around.
Absolutely. And sometimes you have little villain moments because, I don't know, you get triggered, you have a little crash out. Right now, my favorite thing is when I lose sight, when I get frustrated, when I can't rally in that moment with people in my life. I just kind of shut down emotionally sometimes, and I can be like, I use the saying from Nemo, the sharks, they're villains, but like reform villains. I tell them to tell me fish are friends, not food. And that brings me back. Not everyone's out to hurt me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not just in. There aren't always sharks in the water.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a pond where sharks aren't at.
Sometimes being a villain just means just like a little sensitive. And you just have to work through some things that have happened to you a little bit.
You're not diabolical, you're hurt. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening to these villains and our favorite villain origin stories. Tell us your villain origin story in the review. Rate,
Yeah.
review, tell a friend, and then follow us on social media. At thanks number 4 your concern, I'm Ella. And I'm at Ella L Tutor.
And I'm at Bernice ADSM.
Bye.